Hello. We hope you're enjoying your stay at Toshi's place.
To help you make the most of your time in Kamakura, we've prepared this sightseeing guide.
Today, we'll introduce you to Komyo-ji Temple.
Right, Komyo-ji. It's a really special spot in Kamakura where, faith and just incredible scenery really come together.
Absolutely, it's got this amazing spiritual vibe, but also like over 800 years of history packed in. It's definitely more than just a quick photo stop.
For sure, it's a place that really invites you to, well, linger a bit and soak it all in.
Okay, so let's start with that history, because honestly, 800 years, that's a lot to unpack. Where do we even begin?
Well, I think the first thing to grasp is that Komyo-ji isn't just any temple. It's actually a head temple for the Jodo sect of Buddhism.
Oh,
Which is a pretty big deal, especially in the Kanto region. It's been a major spiritual hub for, over 8 centuries.
Wow.
Its story really kicks off in the mid-13th century. It was established by this really revered monk, Nanashi Ryushu.
Yeah.
And crucially, he had significant patronage from Hojo Tsunetoki.
The 4th region of the Kamakura shogunate, right. So powerful backing from the start.
Exactly. That support was key. It really positioned the temple strategically, right from the get-go.
And I read somewhere it wasn't always called Komyo-ji. It had a different name at first.
That's right. Good catch. It actually started out as Renji Temple over in Sasukigaya.
Sasukigaya. Okay, so why the move?
Well, the move to its current spot in Zamokuza, this beautiful location, and the renaming to Komyo-ji, which means Bright Light Temple, it was quite deliberate. The new spot offered more room to grow, a more prominent setting, you could say. It allowed it to really become the major center it was destined to be, sort of symbolized its growing importance.
Makes sense. And that importance just kept growing, didn't it? Because later, in the 15th century, an emperor got involved.
Emperor Go-Sushi Mikado, he designated it as a chokuganji.
An imperial prayer temple. What did that mean, practically speaking?
It meant direct imperial recognition and patronage, which was, a huge honor. It wasn't just symbolic. The temple often took on specific prayers for the imperial family, for the nation. It cemented its role politically as well as spiritually. And that designation also kicked off a special annual ceremony that, incredibly, still happens today.
Wow. And then there's its whole academic history. This part really surprised me.
Oh, yeah, the Denryuan period.
Exactly. From the late 1500s to the 1800s, it was the top ranked among the 18 Kanto Danrin. Basically, the Ivy League for Jodo sect monks, right? And designated by Tokugawa Ieyasu himself.
Yeah, the first Edo shogun. That designation was huge. It basically made Komyo-ji the center for Jodo theology, study, training future leaders. Monks came from all over.
So like serious intellectual debates happening right there.
Absolutely. Deep dives into Buddhist texts, philosophy. And while it was religious study, the intellectual energy there definitely, rippled out into society. These monks were often advisors, educators in their communities.
And speaking of community, it wasn't just high-level academics. The Senjuan building, the one right by the main gate, that actually served as a terrakoya.
Yeah.
A temple school for local kids.
It did, in the early Meiji period, late 19th century, which really shows how connected the temple was to just, everyday life here.
Right.
These terrakoyas were vital for basic education before public schools were really a thing. So Komyo-ji wasn't just this distant spiritual place. It was teaching kids to read, write. It was a real community pillar.
That's fantastic. And the history keeps getting more interesting, even into modern times, after World War II.
The Kamakura Academia chapter.
Yes. In 1946, it briefly became the campus for Kamakura Academia, or Kamakura University, like a really experimental liberal arts place.
It was a pretty bold move, wasn't it? Choosing this ancient temple right after the war for something so forward-thinking.
Why do you think they chose Komyo-ji?
Well, I think it was symbolic. Japan was looking for renewal, for new ways forward. Grounding this new educational idea in a place with such deep scholarly roots like Komyo-ji, it gave it a sense of continuity, maybe, even amidst all the change.
Even though it didn't last long.
No, it faced financial issues, closed after about 4.5 years. But it's still remembered, as this symbol of cultural revival. There's actually a monument to it there now, put up in 96.
Incredible layers of history. And that history extends even to who's buried there. The sources mentioned the founder, Nanashi Ryushu, Hojo Tsunetoki, the regent we mentioned, and even the Naito clan, powerful feudal lords. Their family tomb is there.
Yeah, and that collection of daimyo, these powerful feudal lords' graves, all in one temple, that's actually pretty rare nationwide.
Really? Why is that significant?
It just underscores Komyo-ji's incredibly high status throughout history, its position as the Kanto general head temple. These powerful families chose it as their final resting place. It speaks volumes about its prestige, its influence, both spiritual and, frankly, political.
Wow. Okay, so with all that incredible history swirling around, let's talk about what you actually see when you visit today, the architecture, the natural beauty. What's the first impression?
The first thing that hits you is definitely the main gate, the Sanmon. It's huge. How huge?
It was rebuilt in the mid-1800s, and it stands about 20 meters tall. It's massive. Easily one of the largest temple gates in the entire Kanto region.
20 meters. Okay, that's impressive.
It really sets the scale for the place. Oh, and look out for the plaque on it that says Tenshuzan. That was actually a gift from Emperor Go Hanazono way back in the Muromachi period, another imperial nod.
Cool detail. And then inside, the Daiden Hall, the main hall, that's an important cultural property, right? Built in the late 17th century.
It is, yes. Now, here's a key thing for visitors currently. It's actually undergoing major preservation and repair work.
Oh.
This will continue through 2029, leading up to the Jodo Sek's big 850th anniversary. So the main hall itself is kind of under wraps.
So you can't go in?
You can still worship. They've carefully moved the main statue, the Amida Nyorai, and other important figures to the Kaizandu building that's serving as the temporary main hall. So the experience is still there, just slightly different for now. It's all about preserving it for the future. Gotcha. Good to know. Now, something that isn't under wraps is the Kishutain Garden. The sources talk about these ancient lotus flowers.
Oh, the lotuses. Yes, from late July to early August, that garden. It becomes something else entirely. It's described as a dreamlike landscape, and honestly, that's not far off.
What makes them ancient lotuses?
Well, they're often varieties that have been cultivated for centuries, maybe even descendants of really old strains. And the lotus flower itself is so symbolic in Buddhism, purity, enlightenment. Seeing them bloom like that in the garden, it's incredibly peaceful, very meditative.
Sounds beautiful. And for views, there's that overlook on the hill behind the temple, part of the 50 scenic views of Kanagawa.
Yes. It's definitely worth the short walk up. It gives you this amazing perspective over the whole temple complex and out towards the coast.
When's the best time to go up there?
It's spectacular pretty much any time, but especially during cherry blossom season in spring or in autumn when the leaves change. The colors are just vibrant. Great photo spot, too.
Okay, so we've got the history, the amazing sights, but what about doing things there? What experiences can visitors have?
Right, beyond just looking. Well, one of the absolute highlights, if your timing is right, is the Oluya ceremony.
The 10 nights of prayer.
Exactly. It usually happens in October, around the 12th to the 15th. The whole idea behind it is that doing good deeds for these 10 days and nights here is worth more than, like, 1,000 years of practice in the Buddha's realm.
Wow, that's profound.
It really is. And the temple just comes alive during this time.
With all those traditional ceremonies, right?
Yeah.
Like the chanting, the processions.
Oh, absolutely. You've got the Inzei Midako, this beautiful melodic chanting, then the Nerijiretsu, these slow, solemn processions through the grounds.
And the children's dance? Chigore Zanmai.
Yes, kids in these incredible ornate costumes performing a ritual dance. And the spin nembutsu, that communal chanting with the little gongs, it's just incredibly atmospheric.
And it's not just solemn rituals, is it? They're usually festival stalls, too.
Yeah, that's the lovely part. Lively stalls pop up selling food and trinkets. It blends the deep religious culture with this really fun, everyday community festival feel. It's a fantastic mix.
Sounds amazing. Now, for something really special, view-wise, you mentioned the main gate earlier. Is it true the upper level opens up sometimes?
It is, but only twice a year, usually once in spring and once in autumn. It's a pretty exclusive opportunity.
And the view must be incredible from up there.
Totally different perspective. You get these panoramic views stretching over Zaimakuza Beach, Yokohama Beach. You can see Enoshima Island off in the distance. And if it's a really clear day, maybe even Mount Fuji.
Wow. Definitely worth trying the time of visit for that. And you can see statues up there, too.
Yes, that's the other bonus. You get this really close-up look at these vividly colored statues. The Shaka Triad, the 4 Heavenly Kings, the 16 Arhats, figures you normally only see from way down below, if at all.
So you can really appreciate the detail.
Exactly. The artistry, the expressions. It's a rare treat to see that sacred art so intimately.
Okay, so maybe grand ceremonies or special openings aren't happening, but there are still quieter things to enjoy, like during that lotus season.
Absolutely. During the lotus season, late July, early August, they often hold the Kanrani, the lotus viewing event in the Kishutaien Garden.
What's that, Nif?
It's usually very serene. You can often enjoy a cup of matcha tea, properly prepared, just sitting peacefully and taking in the beauty of the lotus blooms. It's a lovely way to just slow down and appreciate the moment. There's usually a small fee for the tea, just so you know.
Sounds perfect. And you also mentioned just walking around the grounds.
Definitely. Don't underestimate just wandering. The paths, especially the one heading up to that rear hill overlook we talked about, are just lovely for a stroll.
Any hidden corners to look out for?
You might stumble upon smaller sub-temples, old stone lanterns tucked away, little mossy areas. It's very peaceful. You get different views of the temple buildings and the coast as you walk. Just wear comfy shoes. Some paths are a bit sloped.
Good tip. And the area around the temple is great too, right?
Yeah.
The beaches are super close.
Right there. Zamakuza and Yugahama beaches are just a short walk away. Perfect for a quiet stroll by the sea, maybe in the morning or evening. Or, in summer, they're buzzing with swimmers and windsurfers. Nice contrast.
And there's that other historical site nearby too, Wakejima.
Yes. Japan's oldest remaining artificial harbor site. It's literally within walking distance.
Wow. What does that tell us?
It's a fascinating glimpse into Kamakura's past as a major maritime hub during the shogunate period. Shows it wasn't just temples and politics, it was a busy port city with sophisticated engineering for its time. Really adds another layer to understanding Kamakura.
Which all sounds ideal if you're staying at Toshi's place nearby, especially with Komyo-ji's early opening hours.
Exactly. Opening at 6 a.m. in the warmer months, 7 a.m. otherwise, it means you can easily pop over for a really peaceful morning visit before the crowds arrive. Or a quiet walk in the evening. Really fits that live, like a local feeling.
Totally. Oh, and one super practical tip for Toshi's place guests, especially if you have a car.
Yes, the parking. Komyo-ji actually offers free parking, which, believe me, in Kamakura can be a real lifesaver. Very convenient.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the practical stuff. Opening hours change seasonally. April 1st to October 14th, it's 6 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Right. And then from October 15th through March 31st, it's 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And the temple office, if you want one of those gashum seals or other items.
That's open 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. all year round. Nice and simple.
And admission.
Generally free to enter the grounds, which is great. Donations are definitely appreciated, though, to help with upkeep. Just remember, you might need to pay a small fee for those special gate openings in spring and autumn.
Got it. So Komyo-ji really is more than just a temple, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's this amazing blend of deep faith, centuries of history, stunning architecture, beautiful nature. It all just comes together there in a really special way.
It really offers something for everyone, whether you're seeking that connection to Japanese tradition or just a truly peaceful traveling experience.
What did you think?
We hope the rest of your stay at Toshi's place will be filled with wonderful memories.